Hello, I'm Kim, and today we are going to learn the 3 essential SolidWorks skills to get you started with freelancing. So, you are interested to learn SolidWorks, maybe because you want to become a freelancer and you can work at home and earn extra income. And I'm sure the first thing you did was you Google how to learn SolidWorks. Then maybe you watch some YouTube tutorials and you soon found out that there's just so much to learn. So SolidWorks now feels like a very complicated software. And if you are a beginner, it's very overwhelming. I know this because that's what I experienced when I was learning SolidWorks 9 years ago. But based on my experience, if we strip down all the SolidWorks skills that you have to learn as a beginner, first, you have to learn how to sketch properly using relations. Then after that, learn how to make a part out of your sketch by learning the basic features like extruded boss and extruded cut. Then lastly, make a drawing out of the part with a little knowledge of drafting principles. So in order to demonstrate how to do it, we are going to make this part. So basically what we are going to do is copy this part, and we can do this feature by feature. We can drag this horizontal bar and we'll move one feature at a time so we can exactly copy the part. So let's start. We'll make a new part. Let's go to the new icon here and click new. So you can select any part template. Click OK. And in order for us to have a guide, we'll split the window into two. So click window and select tile vertically. So this part here will serve as our reference for the dimensions, so we can copy exactly the sizes. So the first thing that we have to do is make the plate here. So first we have to drag this and make this sketch. So we have to select the front view so we can clearly see the dimensions and the profile. So we'll go to the next window and we'll make a line. Go to the sketch tab and select line command. First we're going to select the plane, a plane. So for this one, for this sketch, if you want to know where it is, sketch. So just right click the sketch feature and select edit sketch plane. So this is sketch in the front plane. So we are going to do the same. Sketch in the front plane. So again, we're going to position it better. So again, select the line command and you can click anywhere and make sure it is horizontal. So this is what I mean by the relation. So SolidWorks has a feature that helps you make sketching easier and faster. So if we hover the line to the horizontal, like a line to the first endpoint, it will snap. And the yellow icon, which has a line, horizontal line in it, that means that if we click it, it becomes a horizontal line. So we'll click it, and here's the green horizontal relation, so meaning this is a horizontal line. And if we click it, the property manager will display. And in the existing relations, here the horizontal relation is listed. So we are going to make this attached to the origin, just like here. So how are we going to do this? First, you're going to select the origin and then the line. But if you select the line, the origin won't be selected, so we have to do a multiple selection. So first, click the origin and then press Ctrl and select the line. Then the property manager will show up. So under the selected entities, listed here are line 1, which is the blue line, and the point 1 at origin, which is the origin. And below it, we have add relations. So these are the possible relations that we can add between the line 1 and point 1. So we have the first option, which is midpoint, meaning the midpoint of the line will be attached to the origin, and the next one would be coincident, meaning any point of the line will be attached to the origin. So we'll just try both. So first we're going to select the midpoint. So the midpoint of the line is now attached to the origin. And let's Ctrl Z to undo. How about if we select coincident? So here the line is attached to the origin, but it's not in the midpoint. So what we want is for the origin to be attached to the midpoint. So Ctrl Z and select midpoint. So as you can see, the line now turns black, meaning it is fully defined. See, as you can, if you click the line, and you can see here in the property manager, it says fully defined. But before, it's blue, meaning it's underdefined. So that's one way of making a line or a sketch or an entity to be fully defined, is to attach to a fixed point like the origin. So that's the first thing that you have to do when you do a sketch. So again, we'll do it. We'll attach it to the origin. Okay, so it's fixed now, but then you also notice that the endpoint is still blue. If you click it, it's still underdefined. So how to make it fully defined is to add a dimension, and we can see here that it's 100 inches. So go to sketch tab and then select smart dimension. So we'll type in 100. So it's already black, meaning it's fully defined. Then we'll move to the next line, which is the 5 inches line at the side. So you also notice that if we hover the mouse or the mouse pointer to the end point of the line, it will turn orange. So this is one way for Solidworks to make sketching faster and more accurate. So if we hover it to the end of the line, it will turn orange, and we can click it, and then we can just click, and then if you want to end the line, we can press escape. And again, the endpoint is still underdefined, so we can add a dimension, which is 5 inches, to make it fully defined. So you also notice that this vertical line has a vertical relation. So this green icon here signifies vertical relation. So if we click the line and look at it in the property manager, so under existing relations, there's the vertical relation. So we're going to move on to the next line, which is the 35 inches horizontal line. So again, we're going to click the line command and hover it. And as you also notice, if we hover it horizontally aligned with the endpoint of this vertical line, it will create a blue dash line. So meaning our mouse pointer is aligned horizontally to the endpoint of this. So again, this is one way for SolidWorks to make sketching faster and more precise. So let's click at the endpoint and click, press escape to end the line, and we'll give it a 35 inches dimension. And we'll do the next line, which is 10 inches vertically, and we'll do the rest of the line. Again, if we hover it horizontally aligned to this point, it will create a blue dash line, and it's called object tracking. So just follow the object tracking. So as you can see here, the top sketch has no dimensions, so we know that this is already horizontal because of this green icon here, which is a horizontal relation, and this one is also vertically defined because of this vertical relation. So what we're going to do on this line is to make this align to the already fully defined line on the left part, this line. Let's select both, click, and then press Ctrl and select the other line. So again, the property manager is displayed, and we can click collinear. So this will make the line collinear with the other line. So now it is now fully defined. But we also can see here that the endpoint of this line is still undefined because we can still move it. But we know that this line and this line is equal, so we'll make it equal. So we again select both of this line and add an equal relation. So now they are both fully defined. Then we're done with the sketch. We'll now extrude it. So we'll go to features and then extrude boss. I think we have to check first the width of this. So if you just have to click the part and then the width will be displayed, which is 40 inches. So we'll edit the feature and then revise the width to 40. But then, as I've noticed also, that the way it is extruded is it's in the middle. The sketch is in the middle and it is extruded both ways. So we also have to do that. I think the way to do it is to select the direction to be mid-plane instead of the blind option. So we have to select mid-plane. Okay, let's do that on the other part. Select mid-plane. Okay, so we're done with the first feature. The next is the fillet or fillet, however you read it. I prefer fillet, just like fish fillet. There are 4 edges that are being fillet. So let's click it to find out the value of the fillet, which is 2 inches. So let's go to features tab and then select fillet, and then let's click first this window and then select again fillet. So it's asking for edges to be fillet, so let's click this, also this one, and then the other side. Now we will input the value, which is 2 inches. Click OK. So we're done. And then the next feature is extrude. So edit the sketch. So we know that all of these holes are 5 inches diameter. The holes are positioned 8 inches at the top edge and 8 inches at the side, and they are all aligned. These two are aligned horizontally, and also these two at the bottom are aligned horizontally, and both the top and the bottom are aligned vertically. So we can do that through adding relation. So we'll do that. Select the surface and then select sketch. Go to the top view. So to make a circle, just go to the sketch tab and select circle and click, and then can add the diameter first, which is 5. We can add dimension. So click the circle and click the edge and add a dimension, which is 8, and then click the other edge and click the circle, 8 again. So we'll add the bottom circle. So if we hover it, we can align the circle. So we don't need to dimension it again, because we can click the circle and the other circle, which is already dimensioned, which has a 5-inch diameter, and we can add an equal relation. So that makes this circle 5 inches in diameter, and we can also make this circle align vertically. So all we have to do is select the center and the center of the other circle, and then add a vertical relation. But then it's still undefined because we haven't given it a distance from this edge. So we have to add a dimension from this edge to the circle, which is 8. So now it is fully defined. We can already cut it. So select extruded cut, and then just select through all, and it will cut through the plate. So now the other side is done, and we can do it again with the other side, do the sketch and all the dimensions, but it's already redundant because we already have this on the other side. So the most efficient way is to do a mirror. Go to features and select mirror. So it's asking a mirror face or a plane. So we'll select the right plane, and it's asking bodies to mirror, but we're not going to use bodies because it's not a body. What we're going to mirror is a feature, which is the cut extrude feature. So we're going to select this cut extrude feature. So it gives us a preview. So if we like what we see, we'll click OK. It's good. We're done with the holes. Then we'll move on to the next feature, which is boss extrude. So this one is simple, but we have to find out where the sketch is. Let's select edit sketch plane. So it's in this face. We'll select this, select sketch, and make the circle, which is 35 inches in diameter. So click sketch and select circle, and let's position this to be on the top view so we can have a clear view. Again, select circle, and then make sure to snap at the origin, and then we'll give it a diameter of 35. So let's extrude it. So the height would be 15 inches. So extrude it to 15 inches. Okay. So what now? Then the next feature is a cut extrude. So this one. So I think this is done by offsetting this edge by 8 inches. So we're going to sketch it here, and then select the top view, click the circle again, snap it at the origin. Oh no, I think we need to do an offset. So instead of making a circle, we'll do an offset of 8 inches. So select offset entities and input first the value of the offset, and then let us select this edge, top edge, and select reverse. Okay, so now we have the inner circle sketch. So all we have to do is do a cut extrude and select through all. We'll move to the next feature, which is the rib at the side. So let's see where this is being sketched. It's in the front plane. So let's select the front plane and select also the front view. Let's take a look at this. So we have a 45, I think that's a 45-degree line. Yeah. So just click at the tip of the cylinder and then connect it to the horizontal line. And then I think we're going to add another line, horizontal line here, and then we cannot really snap at this edge precisely, so we'll just have to click it here near to this intersection and then click it at the tip. So right now it's not vertical, so what we're going to do, we'll just click the line and add a vertical relation, so that makes it vertical and fully defined. Now we're going to add a 15 inches dimension at the bottom, so that's makes the sketch fully defined. So we can now extrude, but then we don't know the width of the extrusion. Let's take a look at our guide. So let's click this. So it's a 5 inches extrusion. So we'll do it again, 5 inches. And we also notice that this one is extruded both ways, so we have to select the mid plane and then input the 5-inch width. Now if we click this, it will produce an error. It says unable to create this feature because it would result in 0 thickness geometry. So what we can do is unmerge this, so we can do the extrusion. So now it gives us a preview of the extruded part, and we'll click OK. So what it did was it created a separate body. So this is the main body, and the rib is a separate body. So we're done with the rib. We'll move to the next feature, which is mirror. So we're going to mirror the rib. So again, go to Features tab and select Mirror, and then select the mirror face or the mirror plane, which is the right plane. And then instead of features to mirror, we'll select bodies to mirror, because this rib, as I've said, is a body here. It is a separate body. And click OK. And the last feature that we are going to make is the cut extrude, which is just 2 vertical lines and 1 horizontal line at the top. Okay, we can do that, and I think it is sketched here at the front. Select the front view. We'll do a vertical line and then a horizontal line, a vertical line, and another horizontal line. So from this edge it would be 5 inches, and this would be 5 inches, and on this side it's 5 inches, and we'll do a cut extrude through all. Click OK, and I think we're done. Let's compare. Yeah, I think we're done. Now, if we want to manufacture this part, we cannot just give the part file to a manufacturer. They need a blueprint that has the instructions on how to make it. In short, we need to hand them a drawing. So next, we are going to make a drawing out of this part. We don't need this anymore, so we will close it. And to start a new drawing, we'll again go to the new tab and click make drawing from part or assembly. So again, select any template, but I prefer to use this B-size template because it's big. So the first thing that we should do is to make a top view. So in order to do that, we just have to get the view from this side here. So we're going to find the top, which is this one, and all we have to do is click and drag. But this is too big, so we have to make it smaller. I think 1:20 will do. Yeah. Again, the purpose of the drawing is to give as many details as possible for the manufacturer to be able to build the part, and that includes adding dimensions. For the top view, we're going to add the overall length and the overall width of the part. So in order to add the dimension, go to annotation and then select smart dimension. So select the outermost edge, click, and then on the side. So we now have the overall dimensions of 100 inches in length and 40 inches in width. Next is the exact location of these holes. So we're going to add dimension from the top edge and then select the hole. So it is 8 inches from the top, and from this side it's also 8 inches. So we know that this hole is horizontally aligned to this hole, so we can add like a connection line that signifies that they are aligned. So we can click this, click the other hole. Also, this hole at the bottom is vertically aligned to the top hole, so we can add another line. And this hole is also horizontally aligned, so we'll add another line. And this one, we know that it is 8 inches from the top, but we have to add a dimension that we know how far it is from the edge. So we already know the exact location of this, and this one we lack the dimension from the bottom. Okay, so here we don't need to dimension because it already has a dimension from this edge and also from this edge. From this edge it is 8 inches, and from this edge it is also 8 inches. Now we're going to add the diameter, so we're going to select the hole callout command to give the diameter of the holes. So we know that there are 4 holes, so we can add like 4x. So there are 4 holes that has the same diameter. So we're done with the top view. Now we're going to make the front view. So how to do that? We can drag somewhere here. We can find the front view, or we will do another way, like click this top view and go to view layout and select projected view. So if we move the cursor down, we'll have a preview of the top view. So we'll click it. So we now have a top view. So our aim for the top view is to give the elevation dimensions, like the height, the thickness of this part. So first we're going to add the overall height. I think we need to take out the decimal points here because it's not needed. So go to custom, edit document units, and we'll select none. Okay, then we'll add the thickness dimension, and we'll also add the height of this from the bottom, and also the height of this rib from this surface up to this surface, and also the thickness of the rib. But we can't select it because it can't be selected. So I have a technique here. Usually when I encounter this kind of situation, all I have to do is click the edge and then go to sketch and click convert entities. So what it does is it creates another sketch out of the line that we've selected. So if we click this, we can now select the tip of the sketch. So click, see, if we hover it, the tip will turn orange, so that means it can be selected. So it's 15. Then what else? So also this one, the height of the cut and the width of the cut, and also the length of this from the edge. So the cut is 40 inches away from this edge. What else? I think we also need to add a dimension on this, on the thickness of this part. What else? And we have to add a dimension for the fillet. And we don't need to dimension every fillet. All we have to do is put a typical for just one fillet, because we know that the value of the fillets are the same. Also, we're going to add a dimension here. Let's put it at the bottom. Also here. I think that's it. Now we will do a section view to view the detail of the cylinder. So we'll click at the middle, click OK. So to add the dimension, just again go to annotation and click smart dimension, and add the diameter of the circle. So what else? We're going to add the thickness of the cylinder, and we'll add a center line. We also need to add the height of this. Lastly, we have to display the isometric view. So to do that, again go to view layout and projected view, can click the front view and move it 45 degrees, because if we move it on top, it will create the top view, while if you move it on the side, it will create the side view. So you just have to move it 45 degrees to create the isometric view. Click. We forgot to add the width of the rib, so it's 5 inches, and we know that it's in the middle, so we'll add a center line. Okay, so we're done, and I hope that you learned something from this tutorial. So if you're a beginner, focus on mastering how to do proper sketching using relations, and also learn how to use the SolidWorks features, like all of these features here. And if you can do that, your skills will greatly improve. And lastly, know how to make drawings and know what dimensions to add, with a goal in mind to help the manufacturer to be able to build the part. I think that's it. Thank you. Bye.